Stu Rudd from the Superjesus. Welcome to noise11.com.
Thanks for having me, mate. Good to see you.
It's a bit of a thrill to be talking about new music with you guys. I mean, there's been the dribble of new songs just over the last couple of years, but a whole album, first album in 22 years, is quite a feat.
It's been a while, mate. I guess we just weren't sort of settled enough to sort of do it, and we had a bit of a break in the middle there, and just getting back together, and it feels just right to start writing some songs and demos and what have you. And Sarah and I just started writing, and all of a sudden we thought, well, hold on a minute, if it's going to go on EP, we might as well go a little bit harder and do an album. So that's kind of how it came about.
With a 22-year gap from rock music to the self-titled album, rock music could be the parent of the self-titled album. It's older now.
It could be. Yeah, totally right. Well, if it's in, we're sort of, I guess, in the fabric of how we sort of write and what have you. And but it could be the parent, 22 years later, definitely.
It's really brought to, the surface, the songwriting collaboration now between you and Sarah. That wasn't something that was in the early days.
No, it wasn't really. I mean, I was happy just to play, bass and be a part of it, and it was, felt great. And, I figured, why rock the boat when it's going so well? But I guess over time you start to, learn and do your sort of thing. And I'd been writing all the way through. I just hadn't been presenting it to the guys. And then when I did, Sarah's just sort of, I started to write more on a bit of Jet Age and then rock music. And I sort of played Sarah some demos and vice versa, and we just started to work on them together, and it just felt good. The writing partnership just felt great. So we sort of tapped into it and just explored it a bit more and pushed ourselves. So, that's where we're at today.
But the entire album is a McLeod-Rudd collaboration from start to finish.
Yeah, well, to a degree. I mean, there's a few songs that McLeod's brought in that were great. She put them on the table. Didn't expect me to sort of... Because what happens is we go to like a hotel, a neutral ground, if you will, and start playing each other demos. And then we sort of, with a pad and pen each, we start, ticking and crossing off whichever we feel we can work with. And there was a few there that Sarah had that she wouldn't have expected me to sort of jump on, but I thought they were great songs. So things like Diamonds or whatever, and but we can pretty much collaborated throughout the whole album, definitely.
So it doesn't start with you and her in the same room at the same time. So how far along is the Stu song or the Sarah song when you bring it to each other?
Well, pretty much I'll write and record at home music and present it that way, and then I might have a bit of a title or a lyric or something that just sort of that I can work to, something like, say, Starlight, and I'll work towards that and write music that kind of goes with that. And then, so it's pretty well complete from one side of it. Then it might need lyrics or a vocal melody or something. But Sarah's has done the same, she's gone, I've got this melody. What do you reckon you can do with it, And then, something like Gangbusters will come out. So that's pretty much how we do it.
How complete has a song been that hasn't been basically tampered with after you've brought it to her? Have you had something that was sort of like almost 95% down the track?
Oh, I won't say 95%, but something like perhaps Starlight was, a chorus, and, the music was all written pretty much. So, we'll say 70% maybe. But Sarah's on vice versa. She sent me stuff that's I would pretty much record. I think it's fantastic. We just change a few things here and there. But, just how we're going, and it's feeling good.
You've got the tour starting, well, pretty much keeping you on the road for a month, from Sydney June 6 to Adelaide, finishing off on July 5. Now, yes. We won't let it go until it's over. Money, We're All In It For Love, Something Good, Dancing With Myself. They've already been played live. Has anything else off the album premiered to date in a
we did Lights Out as well. That was the first single we released, Lights Out. But we'll be playing the whole album. from in total.
In each show, or will you mix it up
Yeah.
over various nights?
We're going to play the album plus a few extras.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're trying to get around hour 15, hour and 20. So we'll showcase the whole album. I mean, 5 of those songs were released as singles, so we're just going to play the other 5, and hopefully, people enjoy it. And then some of the old classics.
Well, the 3 albums have plenty of old songs on there that a lot of people still hear on the radio. How far back will you be going? Well, 1998 was that first album.
Yeah.
And I guess, Down Again, Saturation, tracks like that, you can't afford not to play.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, we just put out a poll online, actually, just to ask, what sort of songs people might want to hear. And surprisingly, a lot of people are coming back with some of the older songs, which is great, and we're happy to do it. We love them. So that's why we're in here in the woodshed now, working on them.
You must have had a lot of songs in the early days that some fell through the cracks, and then you had that Sumo 2 album. So, a lot of the rarities, got yanked out of the closet and put on records. Songs like Ashes still has a place in the set list even now. Does that one survive onto this tour?
Yeah, we're going through it at the minute. So, yeah, we're playing it, and then I think it will make the tour. Yeah, definitely. So, yep, you'll be able to hear it if you come out.
And looking at some of the set lists that you were doing in 2024, the second album, Jet Age, wasn't given a very big run. Was that for any reason in particular?
Yeah, no reason in particular. I just a lot of songs we just sort of feel at the time, and it's about sort of keeping ourselves happy too, Sometimes I'll say to the guys, let's play something off 8-Step Rail, right at the start, and get my jollies, if you will. But there was no concerted effort not to play anything. But we are touching more on the Jet Age album this time around.
When I think about those 3 albums, it came in very quick succession, didn't it? And then it was all over.
Yeah.
Was it a difficult decision to walk away from this band when it was really firing on all cylinders at that point?
Yeah, it was difficult. We to be honest, I don't want to sound like soft or anything. We were exhausted. We were pretty knackered by the end. So when we weren't touring Australia, we were touring overseas and all the rest of it. And people sort of may figure that, what a lifestyle. No, it wasn't. It wasn't jets and 5-star hotels. Let me tell you, it was checking into hotels where there's a gun on the counter, and in a lot of towns. So, but yeah, we were exhausted. We did those in fairly quick succession and just kept touring for the whole time. But we took a break, and it was no malice in it. We just went home one day after a show, and the phone didn't ring.
If we go back to Rock Age and then the band breaks up, Sarah had her album, Beauty Was a Tiger, came pretty much very soon after that. Did you pay a lot of attention to what she was doing on the side as a solo act?
Actually, yeah, I drove over to Melbourne and watched that show. I think it was a hi-fi bar I went. Yeah, so I kept along and kept listening to what she was doing, and yeah, it was good. It was good stuff.
And what were you doing while she was out doing the solo thing?
I ended up playing with Nick Barker for a while, and I got a band called Southpaw, and we were writing and playing, put out an album in Adelaide and started touring with that. So I kept busy, There
was no desire for the Stu Rudd solo album?
No, not really. I enjoy sort of getting with everyone and playing along sort of thing. But I can understand solo albums too. I definitely understand it. I think probably more nowadays. I've got stuff that I think I wrote about 40 songs for this album that I've still got, and perhaps Sarah did exactly the same, 40 songs. And, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and you sort of feel like, wouldn't mind hearing that song. So for things like that, you go, maybe I could do a solo thing, but that's kind of as far as it goes. I'm too busy with this.
There's the cover of Generation X, Billy Idol's Dancing With Myself. Was that the only consideration for a cover for the record?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we sort of do a cover here and there, live shows, just to you know set change mood, if you will. Just to kick it up and let everyone have a good time. You know what I mean? And that's one we've been playing. We just figured, oh, why don't we just record it and see how it goes? And it just came out great. So we decided to sort of jump on it and put it on the album. But yeah, every now and then we've been doing cover songs since Sumo. So we were doing, Blondie or the Sunny Boys or whatever.
When you were doing Blondie and the Sunny Boys are a bit more contemporary than going like back.
Yeah, true.
It must be 40 years. That'd have to be a 40-year-old song now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's almost new.
Everything old is new again, with thanks to the Superjesus. Yeah. Well, it's going to be good to see these new songs live, and you're pretty much going everywhere. All the states seem to be covered off, so that's a good thing for the fans right around the country. They've got pretty much all of June and the first week of July to see the band, so do it if you can. And Stu, great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, mate. It's super to see you again.